Alright, good morning one and all. My name is Saumil Shah. Welcome to the video. In this video, we are learning about Kibana. Basically, we are learning about search queries and Elasticsearch. So I'm going to be teaching you how to write nice good queries. For this video, for the first thing that we will do is basically I'll be teaching you about the aggregation query in Elasticsearch. So let's get started. For the example, I'm going to be using the Netflix dataset, which can be found on Kaggle. Again, the links for this dataset would be there in the description section below. All right. So that's the dataset. I have downloaded it. So let's do an import on the dataset. So before even doing that, make sure your servers are on. So here you can see my Elasticsearch and Kibana is up and running. If you don't know how to do that, I have videos on that. So please make sure to watch them out. So once I have these up running, so I am on the Kibana homepage, right? What I can do is basically I can say import CSV and JSON right here. It's gonna be loading now. So once it's loaded, I'm gonna import that dataset here. Might take a like a minute or two to load up. Okay, once it's done, you can click on this button right here and select the netflix.csv. Now it's gonna create all that index and everything for you. So here you can see Kibana is analyzing all the data sets. So it found these indexes like show ID, type, title, director, cast, and so on. So which is good. Now let's click on the import button on the bottom section. Let's give this a name called as my Netflix. I'm gonna click on the import button. So now it's gonna import all the data from the Kibana to the Elasticsearch. You can also verify whether your Elasticsearch is up and running by going to the local host and say 9200, and you should see basically a message something like this, which means Elasticsearch is up and running. Okay, so still it's uploading data. I think the upload is complete almost. Alright, here you can see now it's complete. Now let's go to the discover section and we shall play with the data. So the first query that we are going to learn in this tutorial series was aggregation query. Okay, so I'm going to teach you what aggregation is. It's really amazing. It's pretty powerful. So let's have a look at it. Okay, so hopefully that loads up quickly, and let me just do a change here. Give me 1 sec. I'm just going to change my data set here. Okay, just give me 1 sec please. I'm just changing the database and so that I can show it to you. So let me do that. My Netflix, there you go, and let's bring it back on the screen. So here you can see I'm just selected the data. Right now this is the data which is from Kaggle. I just downloaded it. Okay, so here is the data set. Let's have a look at it a little bit. So these are our indexes. We should know what our indexes are. We have a type, we have title, we have shows, we have release year, we have rating, we have listen ID, duration, director, description, when it was added. So here you can see country, of course, then the cast and the type. Okay, so that's the data on the Elasticsearch now. It also has a unique ID, so which is good, which is what we need. Now let us look at the aggregation query. So I'm gonna basically on my another tab, I'm gonna open the query editor. So you can go to the DevTools right here. And for this explanation, okay, let me do this. Okay, so the name of the data set was, remember it was my Netflix, right? Where did it go? Yeah, my Netflix. Copy that, paste it here. Okay, now I have made a very cool software for you guys, so which you can use it. So it's basically a query generator. It generates automatically query for Elasticsearch. So let's copy the base query first and see whether this works. Okay, now let's do a run, and sure enough we get all the data. Now as I said, I'm gonna be creating tutorials on Elasticsearch queries, right? How to write queries. So this is the very first thing, that is a base query. Now the size is basically where you can increase how many documents do you want per page. So if I basically say 30 and if I run it, so you get 30 documents basically, right? But if I just say 1, we'll go like in detail. Okay, so don't worry about that. So here you can see I'm gonna talk about the response a little bit. So the hits, when you go to the response, hits and hits, so basically this is how many records it found basically. This is the score, like it basically gives a score, right? So that's the score, and that's our data set inside that. It's a JSON data, right? Perfect. Now here we have something called a source. It's usually deprecated in the older versions, so let me just show you one of them. So let's say you just want a particular field, you don't want all the data. So in the source attribute, what you can do is you can provide this source, right, like this, and you would only have that particular field. Now you can see that. That's pretty cool. Okay, good. So now let's run that again. Okay, so now there are a couple of fields here which I'm going to be talking in detail right now. So there is the first field called as must, then we have filter, we have should, and we have must not. Now, as I said, guys, the data set, there might be some columns who are missing, right? We want to make sure when we query the data that these field exist. So let us walk you through the very first query, that is the field exist. So come to my website and I have this tool right here. So go click on the button called as add field exist right here, right? Now what we will do is basically, let's come to our Kibana Elasticsearch. Now you can just add a field. I just want to make sure that I don't get any none values, right? So I'm gonna add this here, hit the submit button. It's gonna generate the query for me. So here you can see, copy the query and paste the query right here. So you can see automatically the query was generated for you. You don't have to do anything, right? And here you can see that's the result again. So this tool that I have developed, I'm gonna make people's life a lot easier. I'm still adding more and more stuff. So that's basically your field exist tool, right? Now let's look at the match phrase tool. So let's say you are looking for a let's say you're looking for a movie that has a word basically Rocky in it, in the title, right? So how do I write the query? Come here. So we'll make sure that the field exists. So I'm gonna say title. That's the field, right? So come here, title. Come to the match phrase, title. Let's say we are searching for Rocky. That's the query. Run the submit button, and it should generate the query for us. Copy the query. Come here, paste it, run it, and this will give you the data only which has the keyword Rocky in it. This is pretty amazing, guys. Just I mean, it's pretty fast, I would say. So here you can see Rocky movie, right? So it's pretty amazing how quickly you can write these queries using my software, right? So in the upcoming videos, in the next part, so I want to keep my videos short. So this is the part 1. In the part 2, basically, I would be going in much detail. I would be talking about pagination, scan, aggregation, geolocation, and much more, guys. You'll have a really good time learning all of these. So stay tuned. That's part 1. Hope you have enjoyed this part 1. So in the part 2, I would be going through much more details, okay? So thank you once again for watching this video. As usual, if you have any more questions or concerns, please email me, or you can comment on this video, and I will try to get back to you as quick as I can. As usual, thank you for your love and support. Keep smiling, keep programming, and see you guys in the next video. That's part 2.